Oh boy, here it goes. Actually, first let me turn on the light. Doesn't make that much of a difference, but finally got the last parts to put this stupid puzzle back together. Yes, I know this bearing says Honda, but that's the one that was in there and it fits, so I just ordered the same one. It was only $11. I tried to get one, a factory, like, well, not even, yeah, factory Yamaha one. And it was freaking like 30, so I was like, you know what, I'm just buying the Honda one. It worked fine before. It'll probably work fine again. If not, I'll just change it. The only hard thing that I'm actually going to run into today is the transmission, because I got to look back at videos and pictures and everything on how that actually goes in. I got both crank bearings in though. Yeah, I guess I'll probably start trying to put the transmission bearing in actually. One other thing is, I got 2 boxes full of parts that I somehow have to recreate an engine with. So this should be pretty interesting. I think I'm actually going to put the crank seal in first. If I mess it up, I'm going to like hang myself because that's the second time. The first one's right here. I put one in, but I put the one in too far because I didn't realize. And then I looked up online and it said there was like an oil passage there, so I had to pull it out because, you know, no oil equals ruined stuff, so it won't work out fine. But yeah, the only thing I don't know how to do is like the shifter thing right there with the shifter forks and stuff. I have to look that up because I have no clue how that goes in. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Putting these freaking transmission forks and stuff back in. Wow. Now that I know how it goes, it'll be much easier next time. Alright guys, I don't know what the last thing that I filmed was, so I'm just going to go over what I did. I put in the transmission, like, shifter forks and the shifting, like, gears actually, the transmission gears itself. That was definitely probably the hardest thing I've done. Now I just ran to the store, got some gasket maker gray, because that's what they told me to get. And yeah, I gotta spread that around with my finger. Alright guys, so now we just got the gasket maker on, because there's no gasket actually for the center of this, and I'm gonna plop it right on the middle, right together, and that should be all. If not, I'm ripping it back apart. Actually, let me turn on the flash real quick, and I'll be back in a second. So, there's been like 6 hours that's went past since like the clip before the one I just recorded. I don't know if I'm going to put it in. But oh my gosh, this has been such a hassle and not a fun hassle either. It's been very interesting, I'll put it that way. You know, life's about learning, and this has definitely taught me stuff, like not to mess stuff up. I don't know what it is. I'm taking it to my work, but you see how hard that is to rotate that crank? I should be able to push that down easily and lift it up easily, but it's like hard. So I think the bearings are in like sort of crooked or something. I've done everything. I've pulled on this side of the case to pull the crank forward, and there's still that gap right there and that gap right there. I don't know. You might be able to see the difference. See that? And then see that? There's a big difference, but there's really nothing that I've been able to do to actually get this gap smaller. I've been pulling. I've hit it with the rubber mallet a lot. Other than that, I got basically everything else in for today. But I'm going to get this checked out. It shifts through all the gears. I just checked that. That's why the shifter's like that. Don't worry, it's not staying up that high. But everything else works. I mean, it works. I'm just not sure because that seems really sort of like stiff. And it just doesn't seem right. But everything else was pretty easy. Transmission, that was also pretty easy. Yeah, transmission, that was really easy because I had pictures of it. So it wasn't that hard. I just don't know how to, like... Wow, it looks kind of cool in the camera. But I just don't know how or why it's doing that. Like, it has to be binding up somewhere. I spent forever trying to get this thing together. This is not torqued yet, just so I can watch this video back. Well, I'm just saying that for myself because I'm going to watch this video back tonight. And remember, that's not torqued. Neither is this. I have to take this off again. But I didn't want to put it on and torque it all on. Because if I had to take this off, or... What I've been doing, actually, is... like, this is like the final resort. I took a chunk out of my finger with this thing. So you take a piece of pipe, right? I mean, not like a piece of pipe, but a piece of rebar or something. This is aluminum, but it does still pull it, actually. And then you stick that over top of that, which spreads force evenly across the case or whatever, across this little surface right here. And then you put the nut, actually, it's right here. You put this nut on here, screw it on, and then tighten it down with like a wrench or a socket. And as you tighten it down, it actually pulls this nut in closer, which puts force on this, which pushes that in, which should pull this out in theory, but it hasn't really because it's pretty stuck in there. That's not really moving, but I don't think it should take a lot of force to actually turn that. There's really nothing else I can say. I'm not sure. I'll take them to work and see what he says. Alright guys, that's all I'm doing today. I got the clutch basket. I tried to torque that down. I don't really have a way to hold it. I tried to stick this aluminum piece in there and hold it. As you can see, it's not very strong. But that was the point, so I didn't bend this stuff. But, I mean, I don't know. I'll torque it down tomorrow, like I said, at work. Still don't understand why this is hard to turn. It shouldn't be like that, but I'll figure it out. I guess I'm going to hit the hay, and then I'll see you guys in the next part. Alright, so it's the next day. We got this crank situation all figured out. It spins nice and freely now. We just tapped it with a brass hammer on the end on both sides, and it freed up at my work. So, yeah. Now I just got to start putting everything else back together. Also, I forgot to say this, I don't know if I did or not, but when people say they put blood, sweat, and tears in this, I put blood and sweat, not tears. Let me see. There's probably blood on this still. Somewhere. Yeah, I was dripping blood yesterday from the stupid piece of aluminum. But, yeah, other than that, you know, it's pretty minty fresh. And I'm just going to pop this bad boy back on there. And then boom. And then once I pop this on, I'm going to realize I forgot something. Alright, so we just got the other half of the engine on. Took it to my work. I don't know if I said this yet, but it spins nice and freely now, you know. No resistance. Well, there's a little bit of resistance because all the stuff on the inside is turning now. But yeah, I just got to put the stator back on. And then the flywheel, you know, pretty mint. Then I got to wait for the gasket maker and stuff to kind of cure for like an hour or so. And then, you know, maybe I'll throw the head and jug back on, which is up there. But yeah, I can have this whole thing back together in this video. Sorry for not filming a lot. I've just been like eager to get this thing done. And there's still a lot of loose stuff. Yeah. It's really all right now. Oh boy, it is getting this time. I just put the piston on, just put the rings in it. I got that nice yz250 machine piston. Now I'm just gonna put a bunch of premix on the inside to like lube up the cylinder because there is no oil on any of this stuff, so we're gonna have to lube it up for it. Oh my gosh, guys, it is so close, and I'm so excited. If you can't tell. I just need to go grab a torque wrench from a buddy. And yeah, I need to put in the stator bolts, which I'm actually probably going to do right now before I go. But look, looks like a freaking bike. And it turns over. Well, I'm not going to do it because that's some compression. Well, not really because the head's not bolted on. But it looks like a bike engine. Woo-wee. I took the head off so you can see this. Crank it over real quick. Does move. It's hard to do this one-handed. There we go. Cranks over. No. Oh, okay. I know what these are for. These are for the exhaust. I had no clue what these are for. And then these little O-rings, because the only reason I'm going on this little rant thing is because I just put this in the top end so I can put the head on, but I had no clue what these were for. Then I thought about it for a second, and the exhaust ones are the same exact size. Yeah. Now these little things, I'm guessing these go behind these, but I am not taking that off. So, yeah, it'll work somewhere. Oh my god. Yes! Whew. Oh my god, I've never been so scared in my life.